One of the more challenging peaks that are in the Inner Bay Area is definitely Mission Peak at 2,516 feet. It's also one of the most heavily traveled and trafficked for sure. Doesn't make it any less challenging. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to tell you guys all about my recent journey to try to summit the peak of Mission Peak in Fremont, California. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you guys all about my journey here in a second. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Andre Reese. .biz. All right, guys, not only do I do taxes, I do a whole bunch of other stuff. I do accounting, I do bookkeeping, I sell online retail. I also help individuals such as yourself get an idea down on paper and get a business started. I educate you on the tax implications of starting your business and some of the benefits. Make sure you guys go ahead and visit me at andrereese.com, book a session, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, as I mentioned, and actually, you know what I'm going to do? Make sure you guys hang on to the very end of this video. I'm going to talk to you guys about an opportunity to start a business as it relates here to Mission Peak. So, all right, guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and get it started. So, as you guys saw in the bumper, I recently hiked Mission Peak in Fremont. And it's not the highest peak that's in the Bay Area, but it definitely is no less challenging. And it's located in South Fremont, right south of Ohlone College, and they're in the Mission Fremont Hills right there. If you drive them down 880, 680, you guys have seen the peak many times. You guys may not even know what you're looking at, but you know, definitely Mission Peak is there. And I'll tell you what, guys, out of all the peaks that I have tried to summit in the Bay Area, Mission Peak is extremely challenging. And one of the things I want to try to do next summer is, you know, make a trip to Half Dome in Yosemite. And I've been watching a lot of different videos online on YouTube. And, you know, one of the things I asked the computer was, hey, you know, if you want to try to take on Half Dome, what is some of the things you can do in the Bay Area to be able to train? And then there was a number of people that have done videos that have actually, you know, done vlogs, you know, regarding, you know, being able to train to do Half Dome, which is in and itself one of the probably the top 10 most challenging hikes, you know, in the United States, you know, because of the altitude, the distance, and of course, when you're very tired at the very end trying to get up those, you know, 45-degree incline cables, it can definitely be treacherous. But a number of folks have said, you know, the best way to train in the Bay Area is to be able to hike Mission Peak twice in a day. There you go. Hike Mission Peak twice in a day, because it's very steep. On average, where I went, it runs about you know, a 19% you know, grade or so, and it can be brutal going up and it can be brutal, you know, going down. So I'm gonna tell you guys about my journey and what I did. So I spent a lot of time you know, watching videos and making sure that I was prepared to be able to go hike Mission Peak. You know, I'm new to hiking since you know, COVID's been around. And I've joined a number of different hiking groups through Facebook. I've gone out on a number of hiking adventures, and you know, of course, you know, I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always pushing myself to the next level. Always trying to challenge that next problem. Always trying to become a better person. And then when I saw one of the groups, the 510 hikers, take on the Half Dome Challenge earlier in the summer, I was just impressed by these folks and what they were able to accomplish. And of course, I was like, hey, I want to go next, you know. So in order to be able to do something like that, you got to be in tip-top shape. So I basically started to increase my training regimen to try to get ready to be able to get up on the on Half Dome next year. And if I don't make it next year, the following year, that's fine. But the goal is for next year. So I'm trying to do as much as I can right now to try to, you know, increase my stamina and my stroke velocity. That way I can get up there on get up there on Half Dome and join those guys. So what I did is, it's most important. It's very important if you're going to try to do Mission Peak, especially in the summertime. It's hot, and when you try to climb Mission Peak, there's not a lot of shade. You know, so you're going to find yourself a lot of times in the direct sunlight. And so one of the things that's always going to be recommended is to try to go as early as possible in the morning. You know, so if you can try to go during the sunrise, that's going to give you the lowest amount of temperature, the least amount of direct sunlight down on yourself. And then most importantly, it's going to help. And if it's not as hot, you're not going to be sweating as much. You're not going to be losing precious fluids. You're not going to risk dehydration, heat exhaustion, and getting a stroke and all that as well. So that's one of the things you definitely want to be aware of. And so kind of what I did is I prepared the night before. I went to bed roughly about 8 o'clock at night. And I got up the next morning at 3 a.m., got myself ready, and got out the house. And what I brought with me, I brought a large amount of water. I probably brought close to a gallon of water with me, and most of it had a Gatorade mixed in with it. So I had actually brought bottled water, plus I had a separate large container that was packed with ice, and I would utilize that to keep replenishing the water that I had brought in the bottles. I also had brought with me snacks. I brought with me a first aid kit. I had a fairly large backpack on my back that I was carrying all my supplies in. I had extra jacket, just in case I needed to put that on if the temperature had changed. I had a number of other different supplies with me to be able to try to summit the peak and be able to make it work. And I think probably the biggest thing that I utilized that was the most effective in helping me climb the peak was utilizing hiking poles. So I was able to buy some of those off of Amazon, and those things are definitely a lifesaver. They help provide you with a lot of stability when you're coming down, and as you're kind of climbing up the hill, it provides you a little bit of a push as you're ascending up the hill. And it's kind of very similar to if you were walking on 4 legs if you were an animal. It's a lot very efficient in helping to distribute any weight you may have on yourself, and then help taking some of the strain you might find and have on your joints, for sure. And so like I said, I went ahead and left the house early in the morning, and I got to and actually there's 2 options when it comes to trying to climb Mission Peak. There's the Ohlone option, which is what I chose and opted for. Then there's also the Stanford option, which is kind of at the trailhead. You guys can Google either one of those. I'll probably put a link down here in the description that allow you to see those. The most direct route to the top is going to be the Stanford option. It's going to be in a neighborhood, so parking is at a premium. I've heard stories of people that have gotten there, 7, 8, 9 o'clock and had to park, a mile plus away to be able to get to the trailhead initially. So you can go ahead and actually wait until Ohlone College opens, and you can park in the parking lot and you can hit the trailhead right there. So unless you go super early in the morning, probably the distance at that point will probably be about the same. So what I ended up doing is I ended up getting to, like I said, to Ohlone. I got myself geared up, and then I went ahead and parked at Mission Boulevard, and I went ahead and started the journey to the trailhead on the Ohlone side and started hiking up the hill. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and show you guys some of the videos that I took along the way that kind of describes what was happening to me, kind of what I was feeling, what I was seeing. And then in the end, the whole thing was epic. The whole experience it was itself. So getting back to where it was, so I got to the trailhead, started my journey up to the top, and I immediately started noticing that the hill was extremely steep. Like I said, it's about a 19% grade or so. And that's the other thing I would always recommend to you guys to do is consider also downloading the All Trails app. It's going to give you a good insight on the route that you can take and how steep those particular routes are, and then roughly about, you can see kind of what other people have said about it and how long the journey ultimately would end up taking. You can kind of get a little bit of better idea of what you should do when it comes to the journey to try to get yourself up Mission Peak. So as I'm climbing Mission Peak itself, I'm noticing that things are pretty steep. It was early in the morning. The sun was starting to come up right about 6 a.m. and I noticed that I was starting to sweat, profusely, and I was dropping, a lot of water. And I would recommend to you guys, if you guys are going to do a hike such as this, is to make sure that you're adequately fueled in advance. I've heard people say that, if you're going to do Half Dome, eat a watermelon the night before the whole thing. That way you make sure you have adequate fluids in your body, and then continue to put fluids in your body along the way, even though you're not thirsty. Then make sure you have snack that you're eating along the way. That way you can keep the energy going to your muscles. That way you don't start getting the shakes and getting the cramps, that type of thing. And most importantly, continue drinking. Bring some of the salt tablets with you. You can get those off of Amazon, or be able to what I utilizes Gatorade, there for sure. So as I'm making the journey up to the top, I'm drinking my water, I'm stopping to eat my snacks, And it's to kind of summarize everything, it took me probably about 2 hours or less to get all the way up to the top. And when I reached the top, it wasn't that bad. I was surprised at how quickly it went. And I just basically kept trudging one foot after another. And on the way up, I was not the fastest person to go up. Matter of fact, I was one of the slowest ones. I don't know how many hundreds of people passed me on the way up. And like I said, when Mission Peak definitely is like going to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco or Pier 39. It is very touristy. There's going to be a ton of folks, that are trying to get up to the top, that are coming from both sides, the Ohlone and the Stanford side. So if you want to try to get to the top as quick as possible, I would always recommend, going, as early in the morning as possible. And like I said, once I got to the top, I was able to enjoy the view all the way around. I was able to enjoy the view on the way up. I was able to enjoy the scenery. It was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely spectacular. And I did the trek by myself, and because it's so heavily traveled, I think it's something that you can probably do by yourself because there's such an influx of folks that are coming up and down the peak constantly. But you can probably feel a little bit of safety in that. But like they say, it's always best to go hike with somebody else if you can. And that's what's definitely always recommended. But the hike itself was definitely challenging to get up to the top. If you are new to hiking, you haven't hiked any of the longer or harder hills in the Bay Area, wherever you happen to live at, you definitely will face some challenges on this particular peak. But like I said, once you get to the top, it's spectacular. It is epic, and I really enjoyed myself. And once we got up there was a ton of people, and we all had like a camaraderie of like we had accomplished something incredible for that day. Everybody else was laying in the bed watching, SpongeBob cartoons, but we got up early and we climbed Mission Peak, and it was definitely something that was incredible and a great thing to share. The one thing that I didn't do that I would recommend to you guys is once you do get to the top, you take your pictures. I would recommend sit down for a half an hour. Give your body a chance to rest, drink a lot of water, eat a bunch of summit snacks, and get your body fueled up. And I think what I should have done is as soon as I hit the top of the peak, I should have immediately drank a bunch of water and ate a bunch of snacks. And then did my pictures and then sat down for another half an hour, drank some more water, a large amount of water, then ate some more summit snacks. And then once I had a chance to let my food settle just a little bit, began the trek and journey down. Because one of the things I noticed on the way down, coming off the peak, which is kind of jagged, is that I started to get the shakes. And so once I got down past the jagged peak area, kind of down to where there's one restroom along the way. It's a pit latrine. I did stop there, and I drank a bunch more water to get my body rehydrated. And then I also ate more snacks at that particular junction as well. Then I continued my trek on the way back down to the Ohlone area. And one of the things I did on the way down is I took some time to stop and take 5-minute breaks in the shade when I can find it. And then I was alternating about every half an hour. I was drinking water, and then the other half an hour when I stopped, I would go ahead and drink or eat a snack to keep the fuel going in my body. And I did notice some folks that are avid Mission Peak hikers. I mean, they basically go up with like an 8-ounce water bottle, But I'm not at that level of conditioning, so I know these people have been doing this for a long time, and they have that level of fitness, so maybe they might not need as much as I did, to be able to try to make this journey. So like I said, on the way up, I got passed by hundreds of people. On the way down, I got passed by hundreds of more, and it was very difficult to climb down because I was dealing with not having enough fuel and not enough water in my body. And then also on top of that, I was dealing with the fact that as you're going down the hill, you kind of get toe jam, and I've had it really bad before just wearing ordinary shoes. This time around, I had some Keen hiking boots that were the kind that go up your heels or go up your ankles. That way, they provide extra support. Those have a tendency to run a little bit wider, and they work great for me in this particular case. I had minimal toe jam, but the hills are very, very steep going down, so you have to take your time going down, and you may not take super long steps, so it might take you a little bit longer to get yourself down. But in the end, I made it down to the bottom of the hill where the Ohlone College parking garage was, and then I eventually walked down the rest of the hill and made it to my car. And I'll tell you what, guys, it probably took me about 6 hours, round trip to be able to, according to what All Trail said. And of that, about 4.5 hours of time was actually movement time. So the rest of it was time I spent at the summit. There were times that I stopped to take a break. There were times that I stopped to get some snacks, time that I stopped to go to the bathroom, whatever it might have been. So you figure about an hour and a half of time that I used on the way up and way down and on the summit was basically idle time that I was using to rest or to enjoy the scenery. So I'll go ahead and hang on here. I'll go ahead and jump into the videos right now and kind of show you guys what happened on the trip, and then I'll come right back and I'll summarize everything here in the end. Stay tuned, guys. I'll be right back here in a second. All right, guys, here we go. I went ahead and leaving right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get in the car and head on over to the trailhead at Lonely College. It's about 4:15 in the morning. Hopefully I should be there in about 35 or 40 minutes or so. I'll check back with you guys in a second. Hey, what's up, everybody? All right, I made it. I'm here now at Ohlone College, sitting out here on Mission Boulevard. It's about 5:10 or so. So it didn't take me long to get here. Sun rises at right about 6 o'clock, and I see people already starting to stage up here and kind of wait. I'm just gonna go ahead and wait till it gets a little bit lighter out here before I start trekking up the hill. But at this point right now, I'm parked, and I wanted to try to park closer to the trailhead, but it looks like they have that main road that goes around the back of the campus. They have it cordoned off. They probably will open it up a little bit later in the morning, but I'll go ahead and park down here. It's at least free. I think it's $4 to park in the parking garage. So I'll check back with you guys here in a minute. All right, guys, I'm out the car, and I'm parked right outside here on Mission Boulevard. As you can see, there's a bunch of cars. This is the free spot to park. I guess, like I said, the campus is kind of closed. Up there is the peak. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and work my way up the hill here to get to the trailhead, and I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. So there it is right there. There's a peak. Sun is coming up. It'll be up probably in about another 20 minutes or so officially, but I'm headed up the peak right now to Ohlone. All right, guys. All right, here we go. I'm on this little side road. There's the main sidewalk right there. You can see the campus. And the trailhead is right up here above the tennis courts. So I'm in my process of walking there. Check back with you guys in a second. All right, here we go. I'm right above the tennis courts, and you can see the peak back there in the background, and that's gonna be the main road I'm gonna go up as I try to hike. And you can see where it comes from over here at Ohlone College. There's where the main parking structure is, right over there. If you come here after 6 a.m. Okay, this is my last check-in here for a minute. I'm gonna focus on going ahead and doing the hike. You can see it's a beautiful day. It's probably about 58, 59 degrees right now. Got a couple bathrooms. They got water for you right here. And the main thing I'm gonna be doing today, I'm not gonna be trying to race to get to the top. I'm just gonna try to get to the top. That's what the goal is. And I'm just happy that I'm here. And I'll check back with you guys in a second. All right, guys, I'm just checking in with you real quick. Man, talk about memories. This is Mill Creek Road here, I think. I used to take this before I used to actually ride my bike up to this point and then hop on the trail here and then go on up to Mission Peak this way. So just kind of checking in with you guys. I'm about an hour, actually about a mile and 3/4 into the trip, and I'm about 610 feet up elevation. So I still got another, 2,100, actually 1,900 feet to go. So I'll check back with you guys as I get a little bit further, but I figured I would check in with you guys. This brings back memory. I used to actually ride my bike all the way up Mill Creek Road right here. All right, guys, checking back in with you. I'm up about 1,200 feet or so. You can see right now, it's beautiful. Man, my jacket is soaked. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's a ton of steam coming off of me right now because of all the condensation. But I'm gonna continue on the trail up that direction right there, you guys can see. And I'll check back with you guys again in a second. All right, guys, I just went ahead and stopped right there. You can see I'm at, I'll call it Miller's Outpost. That's the little last chance up here to get and go to the bathroom. So I went ahead and made a quick pit stop there. And I'm about 3 miles into it and about 1,700 feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue the climb. So far, so good. Man, I haven't been tripping at all. I think these trekking poles, man, these things make a huge difference in distributing the load as well as the weight and help give you a little extra boost. So I'll check back with you guys here when I get up close to the summit. All right, guys, so I'm on about the last 600 feet or so. You can see down that direction down there. That's Fremont. And out to the bay, you can see the fog coming in. So this is the final ascent right here up to the peak. You can see right now, it's up close to 8 o'clock and it's already starting to get really, really busy. So I'm gonna be headed right up there to the top. It's about the last 600 feet or so. And there's a point down here where the green tree is, where Miller's Outpost is. There's a secondary trail that comes from the mission area. They basically converge up here. So that's why there's a lot of traffic. So I'll go ahead and continue on. I'll circle back with you guys when I get to the top. All right, guys, there it is right there. I keep walking, 1 foot in front of the next. And after a minute, there is the summit. You can see the people standing up there on top. Awesome, man. It really wasn't that bad. Hang on, I'll circle back in a second. All right, guys, that's it. I'm reaching the summit. There you go, right there. You can see there's a whole long line of people up here that take pictures at the absolute peak. But this is awesome and incredible, you know, so I'm gonna go up here and enjoy the moment, have me a summit snack real quick, and take a few selfies, and I'll go ahead and head back down. So all in all, it wasn't that bad. You know, like I said, and actually I'll walk over here to the edge and let you guys see what it looks like up here. Absolutely incredible. All right. Here we go. All right. You can see that's the San Jose down there, Santa Cruz Mountains. You're gonna see Milpitas, you know, Fremont, Union City, across the bay over there, San Mateo. Awesome, look at it. Incredible, incredible, incredible. All right, guys, I'll check back here in a second. All right, guys, that's it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sit down real quick. I'm gonna have some Gatorade, and I'm gonna have some snacks real quick, get my energy up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make it back down. You know, so overall, this was an incredible and epic hike. You know, everybody up here has got a lot of camaraderie right now because, you know, you did something that's not impossible, but out of all the people in the Bay Area right now, we're the only ones at this moment that had the unmitigated gall and intestinal fortitude to come up and get up early so we can be up here right now. So I'll circle back with you guys in a little bit as I start to make my way back down. Like I said, guys, this is awesome and epic. Look at that. All right, guys. All right, guys, that's it. Oh my goodness, I made it. Man, my brother is whooped. Man. Wow. Epic. That's all I gotta say. Man, being up there on top of the peak was incredible. I'll tell you. Oh my God. It was not that bad getting up, but it took a lot longer getting down because it's so steep. But you know, hey, I made it safe, and it took me total about 7.7 miles, and total time that I was actually walking was about 4.5 hours, and the total time was about 6 hours and 15 minutes or so. I'll go ahead and wrap everything back up and summarize it back in the lab, but I want to let you guys know that I'm safe and I conquered Mission Peak. All right, guys, I'll be right back in a second. All right, guys, there you go. As you guys can see, the trip to Mission Peak was epic. I would recommend it highly if you have not gone to the peak, to go ahead and get your posse and your crew together and go ahead and make the trek up Mission Peak. It's a little bit easier to go up the Ohlone side because it's not as steep, but it's a little bit longer. And on the way down, if you're not used to it, that extra length is definitely for sure going to wear on you as you try to extend yourself to get to the car wherever you might park at. And the one thing about going up the Stanford side for sure is it's a lot steeper overall, but it's definitely going to give you a lot more fitness and endurance training. And I think the next time I go ahead and go up Mission Peak, I'm going to focus on doing the Stanford side, and then just take the fire hose right to the mouth and try to get to that. So overall, I had an incredible time. It was definitely epic. The views were incredible. The people were incredible. All that stuff was awesome. And the only other time, actually, I used to ride my bike up Mission Peak many years ago when I was in my 20s. And I've actually hiked up it a couple times before in the past. I really haven't been up to the peak probably in about 25 plus years. It was epic. I really enjoyed it, like I said, and I would encourage you guys to go ahead and do the same as well. And in closing, anything I have for final advice for you guys, get yourself in shape. Get out there, enjoy nature, set yourself an impossible goal, like trying to go, climb Half Dome, and do whatever it takes to train yourself to be able to get to that particular goal. If you don't make it all the way, it's okay. At least in the process, you've gotten yourself a lot healthier. You've increased your stamina. You've increased your stroke velocity, and you're going to be a lot better off, healthy. You're going to have much better health as a person, and it's going to show, in your day-to-day. And of course, accomplishing impossible goals, every day does nothing but increase your confidence in yourself, and it allows you to for sure be the best person that you can possibly be. So like I said, the one thing I was trying to tell you guys to hang around for, besides, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to my channel just real quick. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, that way I can monetize my channel. I appreciate that. Hit that bell, and make sure you guys go ahead and like the video. If you guys have climbed Mission Peak, or you guys want to climb Mission Peak at some point in the future, please go ahead and let me know down in the comments that you've done so, and how your journey was, or how often you climbed to the top, and is there anything you guys do to better prepare than I might have done to be able to get up there on the top of the peak. And the most importantly, guys, the business opportunity that exists here is there are so many people around the Bay Area and any place that want to go out and hike, but they don't know necessarily how to do it. My business recommendation for you guys to start is, if you are an avid hiker, there's no reason why you can't start a business where you take a group of people up Mission Peak. You guys get together, you charge them a consulting fee, you make sure they have all the necessary equipment, and then you lead them up the peak. You encourage them along the way, you make sure they stop and have enough breaks, that they have their water and all that. But once they get to the top, you're there to take pictures of them, and you set up the next epic goal for them to want to achieve. So you can be more or less a professional hiking tour, consultant. Because I know there's a lot of peaks around the Bay Area that I want to climb, but if it's not for the groups that go climb them, I don't necessarily know how to do them, and I may not feel confident in trying to go out there and do those all by myself. So there's definitely a business opportunity for those that are experienced hikers out there. That's it, guys. I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and most importantly, I'll see you guys on the other side. Take care. I might even see you in REI buying some hiking poles. Take care, guys. Peace. See you on the other side. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end of this video. Visit me directly at andrereese.biz. 4 things to do: like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell. Stay safe, guys. Lift the glass to freedom. Stay woke and don't get TikTok. Take care. I will see you guys in the next video.